Is Zelensky now ramping up attacks deep into Putin's territory, using long-range drones to hit Russia's own energy heartland far beyond the front line? Is the 100,000-barrel-a-day Slavyansk refinery now under fire as Kyiv deliberately targets Putin's fuel lifelines, striking assets that keep both exports and troops moving? Has Putin's instant revenge stunned Zelensky, with fresh Russian strikes killing at least one person and injuring many more in a rapid answer to Ukraine's refinery hits? As Ukraine hits oil facilities, are Moscow's forces quietly making gains on the battlefield, taking more of Ukrainian territory in a single swipe of their latest offensive? On June 28, Ukraine announced that its long-range drones had struck two major Russian oil refineries overnight, extending the war far beyond the front line. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attacks hit refineries in Russia's Krasnodar and Yaroslav regions, underscoring Kyiv's reach across hundreds of kilometers. The Slavyansk refinery alone processes around 100,000 barrels of oil each day, feeding both domestic demand and export flows that help fund the Kremlin's war. Notably, Kyiv has stepped up its strikes on Russian oil and gas infrastructure in recent days, turning pipelines and refineries into recurring targets. Russia has begun to feel growing fuel shortages at home, as repeated Ukrainian hits on energy facilities disrupt supplies and force regional rationing. More than 20 Russian regions have reportedly imposed restrictions on fuel sales, a sign that these long-range sanctions are biting far from the front. Zelensky said, and I quote, "Last night, our long-range sanctions reached two oil refineries in Russia. The Slavyansk oil refinery in the Krasnodar region was hit, about 300 kilometers from the front line. We also reached a refinery in the Yaroslav region, approximately 700 kilometers from our border. We continue our operations that weaken Russia's ability to wage this war. Each of our long-range sanctions means fewer resources serving Russia's war machine, and another step toward peace. We will continue to respond to Russian terror." Unquote. The Krasnodar regional governor said falling drone fragments sparked a fire at the Slavyansk refinery, forcing emergency crews to battle flames through the night. Russian authorities reported that one person was killed in the overnight attack, adding a human toll to the damage at one of the country's key energy hubs. Officials said the blasts and debris also damaged nearby houses, power lines, and other civilian property, widening the impact beyond industrial targets. In Yaroslav, local authorities imposed temporary road restrictions during the drone alert, tightening movement as sirens sounded over the region. Ukraine says Russian strikes on June 28 killed one person and injured at least 14 others, in yet another barrage on Zaporizhzhia's homes and streets. The attacks damaged residential buildings, sparked fires, and forced rescue teams into emergency operations as smoke and dust filled whole neighborhoods. Later in the day, Kyiv reported that guided bombs hit the village of Shevchenkov, wounding 3 more civilians as Russia's air campaign continued. Officials warned that Zaporizhzhia remained under drone threat even as crews assessed the damage, leaving residents braced for more overnight attacks. Meanwhile, Moscow claimed its troops had captured 2 more settlements in fresh offensives, presenting these gains as proof its ground push is still advancing. Russia said the villages of Pizantsy and Novosyolovka were taken by Battle Group East on June 28, tightening pressure on Ukrainian positions in the sector. Moscow argues that capturing Pizantsy has created conditions for further advances toward the Dnipropetrovsk region, hinting at deeper pushes yet to come. On June 27, Russia claimed that 2 Ukrainian MiG-29 fighters were destroyed on the ground at the Voznesensk Airfield, in what it calls a major preemptive strike. Moscow says the attack was carried out using 2 of its new Geran 4 Seeker drones, highlighting the system's role as a precision airfield killer. Russian officials claim both fighters, already loaded with air-launched munitions, were hit before they could take off, robbing Ukraine of valuable sorties. According to Moscow's version, the strike also destroyed a fuel tanker, critical airfield equipment, and some of the ground crews preparing the jets for flight. Russian Ministry of Defense said in a statement, and I quote, "During reconnaissance and strike operations at the Voznesensk Airfield in the Nikolaev region, preparations for the takeoff of 2 Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jets were detected. One of the combat aircraft loaded with air-launched munitions was positioned on the apron in front of a reinforced concrete shelter. The second aircraft located inside the shelter was being refueled from a tanker truck. As a result of a strike on the airfield using 2 Geran 4 Seeker unmanned aerial vehicles, 2 MiG-29 aircraft loaded with munitions, a fuel tanker, a specialized APA-5D mobile airfield power unit, and the flight and engineering personnel who had arrived to prepare the aircraft for takeoff were destroyed. Unquote. Russia says the Voznesensk airfield strike was executed with its new Geran 4 Seeker drone, pushing this jet-powered weapon straight into the spotlight. The jet-powered Geran 4 reportedly entered combat service after mass production began this year, marking a step up from the earlier, slower Shahd-type drones. Ukrainian intelligence has said the drone first appeared in combat in May 2026, suggesting Russia moved it from test ranges to real missions in just months. The Geran 4 flies far faster than the older propeller-driven Geran 2, giving Ukrainian defenses less time to react as it homes in on runways and fixed assets. The Geran 4 Seeker is a jet-powered, one-way attack drone designed to ram targets with a guided warhead instead of returning to base. It cruises at roughly 350 to 500 km per hour, fast enough to stress radar operators and shorten Ukraine's engagement window. With a range of up to 850 kilometers, it can reach deep into Ukrainian territory from launch points far inside Russia. The drone carries either a 50-kilogram warhead or a heavier 90-kilogram thermobaric option, optimized for smashing hardened or clustered targets. It is reportedly powered by a Chinese-made Telefly LXWP-160 turbojet engine, highlighting Beijing's role in Russia's long-range drone arsenal. Analysts assess it effectively entered combat in May 2026, with the Voznesensk strike now held up as one of its first showcase missions. All of this comes as Ukraine's president claims that, on the same day, Russian defense sites were also coming under fresh long-range attack. Volodymyr Zelensky released a video on X detailing Ukraine's latest strike on Russian territory, framing it as a direct answer to ongoing attacks. Zelensky alleged that FP-5 Flamingo missiles hit a major facility in Russia's Volgograd region on June 27, showcasing Kyiv's own deep strike reach. According to his account, the strike targeted the Federal Research and Production Center Titan Barakadi, a key hub in Russia's defense industrial complex.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.